My name's Oscar.
My name's Carl,
and this is Who Would Watch This? Welcome to Who Would Watch This, the podcast where we watch a film, chat with a film, and then try and figure out who would watch this.
Today we're talking about The Polar Express. The Polar Express currently has 56% on Rotten Tomatoes, a 3.2 on Letterboxd, and an IMDb score of 6.6. Hopefully none of them have gone up or down over the year.
Oh yeah, we want to put it like we want to stick in concrete.
Yeah, we're stuck in time.
No, oh god, it's a horrid thing. Carl, the plot: on Christmas Eve, a young boy embarks on a magical adventure to the North Pole on the Polar Express while learning about friendship, bravery, and the spirit of Christmas. Wow. Carl, this is our third year of doing the Polar Express.
It's essentially our Christmas special.
It's a Christmas special.
It's essentially our Christmas special.
It's cozy. You want to, get a little blanket, get a mug of cocoa, and, we're just chilling. We're vibing out.
We're talking about how we've changed over the year, maybe. I don't know. Or, the other things.
Yeah. Other Christmas joy things, Put it in a bow and do all that sort of good stuff.
It's our Christmas party for the podcast as well. So we get to have a drink, we get to eat some spring rolls, and chat about the Polar Express.
A film we've watched 3 times now, and quite frankly, is getting a bit tedious.
Oh, it is.
Carl, we're not doing it last week, because normally we go back in time and go, hey, what do you think of the film? Carl, it's done. We know
who would watch it.
Yeah.
We've done it before.
Yeah.
Unless we think it's changed this year, I won't be putting the law down.
Yeah.
But
this is huge.
Now, we can't give the people the same critiques.
No.
Year and year and year.
I'm glad you have had this exact same thought, because I have thought something to do. However, you've also thought of something to do, and we've not communicated what we decide to do.
No.
This is huge. Carl, do you want to go first, and then I'll tell you exactly what I'm trying to do.
Excellent. So here's what I've done. I've sat down and I've listened to the last episode of Who Would Watch This with the Polar Express, and I have written down everything that we talked about in that episode.
That's huge.
And now we are not to touch on any of those things again.
I am over the moon you've said this, because I have gone down a similar route. So this all works, Carl. We're in complete...
Fantastic.
We're in complete... Because my opinion is, I'm not going to be a little negative Nancy. I'm going to say this is a good film.
Oh.
That's right, this is a good film. And I only have positive notes, and anything negative that you want to spin into this, no. And here's the thing, which is great, because quite frankly, I'm going to go ahead and say we didn't say anything positive about the Polar Express last year.
I mean, we do a little bit.
What do we say positively? Because it's out the window. Because it's the only thing I'll be talking about, and that's what we need to talk about.
We definitely can't repeat the fact that we thought Billy is a poor and cowardly kid that's ungrateful and a mooch.
Okay, damn. Okay, well, let me just cross out a big thing of mine. I've got more of a metaphor. Okay, don't worry, I'll work with that.
And we can't talk about yodeling.
That's fine. That's fine. I'll have to cut it. What else?
Nor can we talk about the spirit of Christmas.
Okay, huge.
We also can't talk about having holes in pants. You aren't allowed to do your impression of the kid with the glasses.
That's so unfair.
Yeah.
I just think it's cruel. I've done that year on year. I think I nail it.
We
but
can't
fine.
talk about Tom Hanks punching letters.
That's good. That's good. I've got a different take for that one.
Just as a side note as well, it is one of my favorite bits is, and we can cut this, but one of my favorite bits is, and I was laughing at this in the car so much, is we make fun of the fact that Robert Zemeckis his check is also punched with letters, and when he goes to hand it in, they just punch in the word lame.
He gets an L.A. and just like...
Yeah, he gets an L at the beginning and an Emmy at the end. We can't talk about the ticket flying around. We can't talk about the live show version of the hot chocolate sequence. We can't talk about that boring song in the middle.
Oh, no, don't you dare. I had a big paragraph on that.
We can't talk about the fact that at 34 minutes and 30 seconds into that episode of the Polar Express, there is a part that needed to be edited out where you go, I'm probably going to cut this, and there's just radio silence.
Is it really?
Yeah.
That's embarrassing as hell. What do I say?
We're just like looking up something on our phones and we go, oh, okay, are we hopping back into it? Yeah, from now. And then we do it.
That's
and it's not cut.
Petrifying.
I will also chuck out there, maybe I edited it. I don't know. We can't talk about all of the real life kids that were filmed to do the ending when they're all on the TV.
They're creepy as hell.
We can't talk about Colin or Chet Hanks.
Fuck off. Now that's limiting creativity. Now you're putting me in a box, Carl. Now I feel like I'm a prisoner. I need my Hanks. I need my Chetney.
Now I had done all of my notes and watched it this year, and then listened to the other episode and listed it all out.
Okay, so you're on the same bar as me.
Yeah, and so One of the things that we're not allowed to talk about is the room full of records to each department of music that they listen to that's at the North Pole.
Okay, huge.
And I had written out an entire bit in my notes this year, only to find out I did the exact same bit last year, and it didn't land.
But here's the thing.
So I'm glad I've checked
about
myself.
comedy. You got to try it twice, and if it fails twice, carry on for a third time.
Yeah. We also go on a very long tangent about Psy, who sings Gangnam Style.
Here's the thing. It was topical then, it's topical now. What was our take? Was it positive or negative?
I can't remember.
Did we discuss Gentlemen?
No.
Well, that's fine.
Okay, Gentleman's wide open.
Gentleman's right open. That's right. Psy's second greatest hit.
We can't talk about the hobo skiing. We can't talk about the brutal violence the reindeer endure. We can't talk about the slow motion of the bell, and we can't talk about whether or not they all should have been given Wizard of the Oz-esque gifts.
Okay,
at the
huge.
end.
Okay, I like these. I need you to buzz me for any time gone. I've taken a different route, Carl. I think this film is fantastic, and because of that, I've had to jump through hoops to make sure that this is fantastic. Do we jump into the Polar Express?
Let's go.
With these guidelines, let's jump in. We open on a dark room, and we start with a pervert of a boy looking at his sister for a keyhole. I think a keyhole in a film is the most pervy thing you can do unless you're trying to solve a murder. If you're trying to solve a murder, then you're only get clues. However, you're not doing a murder, it's definitely for perverts. That's my opinion, and I think it's an odd way to start this Christmas classic. Should we talk about this film being a Christmas classic, and why is it? Should it?
Okay, why the fuck is it a Christmas classic? Because unfortunately, we're at the point that we can say it is a Christmas classic.
Yeah.
It is watched every year. It has millions of views.
It got a big...
People love it.
It got a big 20th year anniversary, which I thought was bizarre.
Like, you can go and see it in cinemas.
Yeah. People are like, we're supporting this, rewarding this. And I just think, and it's a blessing and a curse for Christmas, because any bad film is good at Christmas. I'm sorry. We watched Fred Claus together as a family. I say a family, two of our friends, you and me. But... it was dreadful, but you have to give every little thing that works such a big bonus. I mean, you just go, wow, the emotional points of Paul Giamatti and Vince Vaughn work. And they really come together in the Fred Claus. I mean, maybe it's a 4-star film, I don't know. But yeah, Polar Express starts with this little pervy boy, and this is our protagonist.
Yeah, I never enjoy following him.
Yes.
He's never fun.
He's a blank slate, which we're going to be coming into why I think it's a positive film.
One of the things that I thought was interesting about him this watching, is his whole character is he needs to learn to believe. Okay, he needs to learn to believe.
Yeah.
He doesn't believe in anything. This guy also doesn't believe women.
Oh, chilling.
I don't know if you noticed this time. There's a list of things I had never catched before, but I caught them.
Great.
One of them is this whole scene that happens in the middle of the movie when she's like, we pull this for the brake. And he's like, are you sure it's not the red one? That looks like a brake. And she's like, no, it's the one they told me was the brake. And he's like, I don't believe you.
I'm getting chills. I did not realize this. Our protagonist doesn't believe women.
Yeah.
Ironic that he still gets... And you know what? Isn't it telling that even though he doesn't believe women...
He's rewarded.
He's rewarded.
He is rewarded with a bell.
Oh my God. I'm just getting... And I just can't believe that the film goes, hey, we're going to follow this person.
You know what I was going to say? Considering you've got a positive take on it this year.
Oh, I don't know. Let me straight...
No, you've got a positive take on it
All
this
right, good.
year.
Go on.
Well, because when I finished this is... I enjoyed watching it this year more than I enjoyed watching it last year.
Now, why is that?
I made breakfast in the middle, maybe?
Okay,
I don't know.
Okay, no, granted. No, I think here's the problem. We can't just be like, well, I've watched this one, I can't remember it, so I cannot take a break.
Yeah.
I said the exact same thing. And I remember being like, no, that's cheating. I have to sit down and take notes. My phone was in the other room. I was down. I was watching every frame. I didn't get up for a second, except during the bad song, which we're not allowed to talk about, but is a bad song.
Or is it a good song this year?
Nope.
Because you can talk about it being good if you want, and I'll let that slide.
No, the only thing I said about it was good is because I got to make a cup of tea during that. That's all I had. But other than that, I have only positive notes for this film.
Well, I can give a positive note, and I don't think we did talk about it last year. The music is fantastic.
I have the same notes. Again, it is a bit Back to the Future and a bit whimsical, but isn't it magical?
It is fantastic music.
Yes.
Alan Silvestri's done it
Is
again.
that it?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And as you will recall, I have a voicemail from Alan Silvestri.
Yes. Tell the story, Carl.
I will. Basically, me and my now husband were traveling around Europe. We ran into a lovely woman named Diana. We did a macaroon making class with her in Paris. And then she treated us to a lunch. And during the lunch was just like, we were like, hey, we've just gotten tickets to go see Back to the Future in London. And she was just like, oh, my friend just did all the music for that. And we were like, oh, okay. Who is the what? And she was just like, Alan. Alan just went, he flew over to London to help like launch that production. And we were like, right. Like Alan Silvestri? And she was like, yeah. And we were like, your friend Alan Silvestri? She was like, yeah, Alan Silvestri. And we were like, we love Alan Silvestri. Like, my partner is obsessed with Alan Silvestri. And she was like, that's crazy. Nobody cares about Alan Silvestri.
His name has never been spoken more than what you've just done now.
Yeah.
It's been said 18 times. He's appeared like Beetlejuice in the next room.
And I'll also say this as well. She thought Robert was too hard on Alan.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Well, go on. What's the scoop?
So I obviously cannot divulge.
Oh, you can't divulge? Oh, what a tease.
I'll tell you what, she whipped out those NDAs immediately. She's like, I'll give you the gossip on Hollywood, but you got to sign these. She is lovely, and we stayed in touch with her for a few months. And when she went and she had dinner with Alan, she was like, I met your two biggest fans, Carl and Clive. Can you give them a voicemail? And I got this big voicemail from Alan Silvestri being like, stay cool, you cats.
Oh, here's the thing. He's a friend of the podcast.
He's a friend of the podcast.
And he's a great composer. This definitely was great. The music works. Carl, let's get into the next thing. Now, after the perving scene, we get the train. The titular train. Again, positives, this looks great animated. Nothing else looks great animated, but the train does.
The train does look good.
Because it's an object.
Yeah.
And objects are really easy to animate.
I did find the movie cinematic this watching, which I don't think I'd ever found before. There was something, I was ever so slightly blown away this viewing by certain shots or certain things it did. I don't know if I was very passive this morning, so maybe I was like, this is okay. This is okay.
I feel like I have a bit of regret because two things. I looked up the graphic novel for Here. First things, a big apology to Here. Not the movie, but the actual book. The actual square thing does work. It does a whole thing. Every year's a color, which they should have done for the movie, and that works. I also looked at the Polar Express, and they've taken shots from the Polar Express book. It's much more cozier in the book, but every still of the train is nice because it's mainly train. It's very rarely about the annoying children. Anything that annoys you in this film is not in the book.
It's the Zathura Jumanji illustrator, isn't it? Yeah.
God, it's tasteful.
I think this movie should have just been live action. That's me.
Yeah.
I think that this should be a live action
Bobby Z was
film.
feral, though. He's like, I just found out about computers, and it's the future. It will never go crazy. After this one, I'm making Beowulf and the Christmas Carol. I'll never die. It's fantastic.
One thing I really want to talk about today is why are these children picked?
I have a theory, Carl, and because this film, and this is the only way I can make this into a positive, this film is an allegory or a metaphor for the evils within the society, okay? And the reason why these children are picked is because either they're too bland or they're too flawed, and the flaws actually feed into how they actually overcome the Christmas nightmare that is.
Okay, so example?
Okay, so let's go into our main protagonist, and this will get...
And what's our protagonist's name?
Oh, that's the thing. That's why I think, here's the thing, he's very bland, and that is what is needed for him to defeat the evils of Christmas. I think that the villain is Santa of this film. If you wanted to that through that perspective, that's how we got to look at through this. The only way these kids can overcome this horrid land of Christmas is being bland, annoying, or weird. And as a result, they can repel the temptation of Christmas. I'll keep going, but it's a positive that this child is bland. You give me a look that is strange and odd, but again, welcome me here. We'll keep carrying on, but it's actually a positive that this child is bland.
Who's your favorite child in the movie? Who's your favorite character in the movie?
Okay, so we've got bland protagonist who's
Yes.
given nothing and doesn't believe women, which,
Bad.
red flag.
Yeah, for sure.
Sin on him. We've got the woman in question who, in fairness, doesn't really doesn't do a whole lot. So
I had never noticed how much of a hunch she has
Oh, you're
when
mocking-
she's entered into the film.
Now, don't be. It's Christmas. Do not mock a hunched child on Christmas,
no,
Carl.
she's
Mock
weirdly
a-
animated
no,
over.
Okay.
I'm like, why is she doing that to
That's
herself?
cruel. That's very cruel of you. And we're not in a Christmas mood here. You're talking about the hunched little girl that lies?
The hunch goes away. I just don't know why she has a hunch here.
Because it's cold, and once she gets to the North Pole, she straightens her posture like a good girl.
I gotta
should.
tell you, why are we just electing like 15 kids and doing this in like a quiet carriage?
I think that the whole Christmas whole thing is to take children's beliefs and core tenets and values and, suck it dry and use it for Christmas evil.
Well, I was gonna suggest, do we think that there are other carriages of kids? Like, is there
Oh.
a first-class carriage that, like, rich kids got a slightly better time?
Oh, 100%. It's a whole nightmare, but it's a very organized nightmare in the sense that they have about 98 carriages spread across the US. They've got a Japanese sector, they've got a German sector, they've got all across the world, unless you're not a Christian country, in which case, yeah, pretty dicey, this Santa character. But there's definitely tiers to this, because here's the thing. There's poor characters and there's rich characters in this little neighborhood. But if you go to a very expensive neighborhood, everyone's rich there. So you still need the whole narrative of a poor kid and a rich kid. It's a whole system, and it's a lot of bureaucracy, but it all works. And it all feeds back into saving Christmas or killing Christmas. Who's my favorite character? It is the nerdy child, because he's so annoying, and that feeds back into my metaphor. But we won't get into that because I can't do the accent, because somebody's a goddamn, ruining this goddamn podcast without letting me do my impressions, which everyone loves. Every email. What do they say, Carl?
So they're like, you gotta make him stop. He is torpedoing your podcast by doing impressions.
That's fine. I can do a foghorn leghorn. Oh, come on, let me do my southern drawl.
That is better, but I can only do a very good Alex the Lion. Alex the Lion. I do the visual cue. You will never enjoy it.
I gotta tell you,
situation.
I gotta tell you, the visuals really did. He jumped on a pedestal in New York.
Now, do we think that the kid is right to not hop on board? Because I think he's right to not do it.
Totally. Here's the thing: you see a train in the middle of the thing, and granted, normally stranger dangers don't follow the man in the van. I think this kid has gone, all right, let me take a leap of faith and go, maybe a train and a man also is a no-go situation. Even though there's other children in there, he's right to not jump on board.
I thought it was like weird that the kids are like all aware this is a magic train.
Yeah.
Like the Poindexter kid is like,
well,
do you want to know about this train?
He's a skeptic, and he's a whole skeptic, but immediately he was like, well, it's magic.
This is a magic.
It's
a magic train.
What are you doing right there?
Sorry, I've never done the accent.
Okay, you could do the impression. Let me mock you while you go.
Sorry, no, you don't get to mock me. I didn't mock you during yours. Okay, and then next year, none of us get to do it. Is that okay?
Yes. I'll bring the Poindexter gigs in. Oh wait, it's you. That's right. It's fucking you.
Well, you can be the goddamn bland kid, okay?
That's just because my pockets are all ripped up. Come on!
No.
Fine.
We're not to talk about ripped pockets.
He's got great pockets that are sewed shut and right.
Damn straight. This kid being the bland kid, is... his look when they pass a store and he's like, is that really Santa? And it turns out it's a mechanical Santa, and he's like, fucking knew it. And I'm like, what do you think? Did you think Santa was going to be spending Christmas Eve in that window? What's wrong with him being mechanical?
It's a real weird hang up, because I don't think the book even goes into like the belief. I think it's just like, hey, a magical train's going to the North Pole.
Why can't he just have a fun time on this train?
I don't know, because he's a fucking bore. He's an absolute bore.
It's weird that the concept wasn't every carriage has like fun, exciting things going on in it, and they explore it all the way up to the front, and then they arrive, and then they do Christmas. Most of this movie, I always forget, is it's half of it's on the train, the other half is them just walking around a desolate North Pole.
Oh, we'll get into that, because I think really that the whole film is really a metaphor for how evil and crushing Christmas is, and these children are on a journey to pretty much be lured into like a cult of Christmas, and pretty much what the train represents is them going further and further into the madness of this whole holiday and following the cult leader, and the only thing that's keeping them alive is being skeptical, bland, and a bit weird.
Great spin.
Thank you.
You've been thinking about it all day, haven't you?
All
You're
day.
so succinct.
Thank you.
And now I'm going to follow that idea up with this, Oscar.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on a 90?
It's aggressive. I think it's pretty
For
aggressive.
Billy to wear.
Oh, and we can't call him a poor child because you banned
Or
that.
a mooch.
Okay.
Okay.
Fine. fine. The child that is in a low-income family,
Billy. You can call him Billy.
is wearing a little sack because he's poor.
He's in a 90. No one else is in a 90. A lot of them are in pretty lovely get-ups. Actually, you know, this is the other thing I want to talk about. Is everyone here from America? Is the Polar Express just America to the North Pole?
Yes, but it's an American division. Each country has its own system of trains that collects children, and they go on this whole narrative thing. And at least one of the train has to... Essentially, Santa's main gig, other than giving presents, is also teaching a select few of children, I guess, a little story, essentially, a little belief.
It's like, why are they picked? And I think the other thing that always fucking frustrates me in movies where Santa is real is, what do the parents think when there's random gifts under the tree?
I think they've all drank the Kool-Aid, and they've all gone down this train thing. Everyone knows Santa's real. No one's saying it.
No one wants to say it.
It's a horrid society that Santa's encapsulated everyone, and then pretty much they have to go through this horrible ritual, puberty, get taken on a train, brought to Santaland, made to believe, drink the Kool-Aid, drop back home, and then meant to live out the rest of their insignificant lives, thinking that a god is reigning supreme, and we can't never go back to him.
Well, that's what I thought. I thought, why have we not gotten an incredible sequel where we have a guy being like, I've hit euphoria by finding out that Santa's real, and all I want to do is ride the Polar Express again.
Of course.
Having to hunt it down and find it.
100%. But here's the thing. That's the cruelty of Santa, and the cruelness. He gives you, everlasting toys and beauty, and goes, hey, that's as a child. Now you believe me? Guess what? I'm being taken away, and you're meant to live the rest of your life in solitude.
Well, he doesn't give beauty.
Where are you getting
beauty
He
from?
gave that low-income child a bike. And that's pretty beautiful.
He didn't give him a bike.
He did give him a bike at the
He
end.
gave him a box.
Carl, get this. There's things in those boxes.
Sorry, yeah, they're not a bike.
There's a bike.
He can hold
He definitely
that box.
got a bike.
He held that box above his head.
He definitely got a bike.
He did not get a bike.
Okay, well, I guess my notes are wrong then. So
I don't
what?
know where you've gotten bike
Fine,
from.
he got an Xbox then, which is also beautiful.
Sorry, he would waste it. I bet his dad had pawned it for cash.
Oh, 100%.
I've got a whole narrative around Billy's life.
Here's the thing. You said I couldn't call Billy a mooch. I will be calling Billy's parents a mooch because
they
are
for
pawning their
sure.
Xbox for an illicit drug or for a couple of porno
So
mags.
surely they're waking up in the morning going like, who bought you a fucking Xbox?
Here's the thing. They don't ask that. They go, who fucking foolishly gave my child an Xbox, which I can pawn for cash? Christmas, Boxing Day is going to be nice and lit.
Absolutely.
Oh my
you
God.
give him like here's a handkerchief to play with.
Yeah.
I'm going to take this. Oh, there's a Kinect as well.
Carl, you're a fucking fool if you think Kinect was out in 2004. It was a 2012 limited edition item that ran for 4 years.
But Zemeckis knew it was coming, so he put it in.
That's the problem.
Zemeckis always knows what's coming.
always is on the precipice of technology, and he saw the Kinect in the line of Microsoft. Went, give me that.
He's like, I want that.
Billy needs a Kinect.
This kid, you're telling me this kid in the 90 doesn't want a Kinect? Get him a Kinect.
He can play Animal Kingdom. That's right. We're bundling Animal Kingdom and the Kinect together. It's a $90 purchase. Get this: motion sensors and a big game. It's mainly rafting-based comedy and play, but it's stunning. You gotta get yourself a Kinect, guys. Guys, run out there and buy a Kinect. They are a bug. They're $1 for a pound right now. Check them out. You can buy them by the kilo.
$1 for a pound. One of the other things I really noticed this viewing was also the 3D. I think I am sometimes a bit checked out to how many shots are like 3D.
Yes.
This viewing, I was getting sick of it.
I had to start playing a game, Carl. I know we said we couldn't talk about the tickets. However, I've got a magical new idea, is that I want to characterize this ticket. Okay. I want to give this ticket a purpose, and quite frankly, I think it's a tragic purpose. I think this ticket has been born, has realized, one, that his only, or them, or she, let's go they, I think this ticket's only purpose is to be stamped and used by children. And I think the reason why we get this elaborate, long sequence of the ticket being, out the train and whatnot, is because we're going to mourn for this ticket. It's finally found out that its purpose is to only be stamped and used. Of course it tries to escape. Where does it come back to, though, Carl? It comes back to that child.
This is your version of a positive spin on the film?
Oh, totally. Again,
You're giving misery.
I'm not giving misery. I'm giving depth to the film. If you think a film can't be miserable and beautiful at the same time, then shame on you.
Well, this...
Have you not wept?
Yeah, I've wept. Actually, you know, in this ticket sequence, we
I should explain. The ticket goes floating about for like 3 minutes, and it's a long
it's
sequence.
so long. It's such filler. And it shows the spirit underneath the train. He's homeless. The homeless man.
Yeah.
He is sleeping up a storm under the train.
Yeah.
That can't be safe, right?
No, but again, he gets absolutely decked by a tunnel midway through, so I don't think death can get him. And this feeds back into my whole metaphor of the fact that Santa's a goddamn mooch. Anyway, go on.
So is this character in the book?
No.
What's he meant to represent?
No characters in the book. Do you know how little the children are in the book? It's pretty much like, here's a train, and it's just the only thing the book has is just pretty much like, the book's like, this kid's like, I don't believe in Christmas, but maybe I will learn. He's open to learning, which I think is such a better character motivation. He's just like, and he just almost is, by the second the train arrives, I go, wow, this is whimsical and amazing. I'm immediately on board, literally on board the train. Train goes down around. Every shot that's beautiful in this movie is from the book. And then they get to the North Pole. Immediately, they're not like, well, let's show the desolate elves slavery thing going on. They're immediately like, here's Santa. He goes, hey, you're a good kid. Be good. Anyway, that's it. 18 pages, all you need. None of this moose shit. That fucking moose scene in the whole thing, and the weird hillbilly drivers, and this weird homeless man. I don't know what this homeless man represents. I think he represents hope, though, for these children.
Definitely. They could become him. They could bum around a train, drinking Joe and putting socks in things, and just waltzing around like they own the place, freaking each other out.
Okay, Carl, it's now been 3 times. What do you think of the hot chocolate scene? And are you a big fan?
I hated it this year.
Okay.
I am now firmly on the idea that they should be given a snack. They are given just hot chocolate.
Tom Hanks goes and goes, hey, anybody here for light refreshments? I'm expecting a cracker or two.
I'm expecting some food.
Peanut, little bag of peanuts, at a minimum.
I know, and I also noticed this about the hot chocolate this year. No marshmallows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've been perfecting this recipe for like 700 years.
Yeah.
No fucking little marshmallows.
Little mini marshmallows.
Here's the thing. I don't care if it's cheap marshmallows. The fact that there's a couple of marshmallows for my drink is the meal. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm immediately on board. That's fantastic.
Put the marshmallows on the side if you don't want them to affect your recipe. Yeah. But I am deserving of a snack if I'm on the Polar Express.
Yes.
I think they should be able to
You've immediately gone down the route of like, oh, this magical train's picked me up? Well, guess what? I've got demands.
Well, if it's a magical train, because I'm just thinking in the viewpoint of if you're a kid.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things that's always stayed with me as a kid is the scene in Spy Kids 2 where they have the microwavable McDonald's.
That's in the first one, you moron.
Is it in the first one?
It is in the first one, I think. But
Either way,
they
in
play
the Spy
they play it in
Kids-
the second one as well.
Yeah. Either way, that is a child's dream, right?
Yes.
I think that this scene should be like, hey,
You think McDonald's should get involved?
No, anything that this kid was craving.
I think the Colonel should be involved here.
Oh my god, the Colonel coming out? That's a vibe. I'll tell you what, if the Hamburglar came out, the Colonel came out, and then just the Hut from Pizza Hut came out.
Oh my god, chills.
And then maybe a Domino.
Well, here's the problem as well. Jared from Subway would have to be there. And listen, this
Whoa,
it's pre 2009. This was brave. Okay, everyone was back on
pre-Connect.
It's pre-Connect. I gotta tell you,
PK.
Here's the.
We're living in a PK world here.
We're living in. The second the Connect dropped, guess what also dropped? The ruse that Jared was pulling.
Oh, the ruse. Jared!
God, he is a monster and should not be allowed on this train.
I just think that they should all come out and be like, hey, we know exactly what you feel like. And with their magic are like, oh, wow, I really wanted this pork roast with all the trimmings.
I agree, Carl. However, I reckon they brought that up to the person. And the person writing the song was like, are you shitting me? I'm not fucking freestyling anything the kids want. That's right. This is like Wicked. They sang live on stage.
Lynn will have loved this. Lynn would have been like, you're telling me to rhyme pork roast with hot chocolate? Yeah, I can do it. I'm a poor man the 70s.
Yeah, I'm Billy. I'm fucking around with titties, and I got no. He would have nailed it. Again, we're not Lynn, okay? But he knows how
I'm a mooch on the side of tracks with a Poindexter.
You sounded Eminem like, man, if Lynn and Eminem could get in the studio, I think they would really bang out
That's a film.
a good Polar Express soundtrack. Yeah,
Absolutely. That's so good.
when Polar Express gets remade, and I do fear it
Probably,
might.
aren't they doing a sequel next year?
Oh, are they? Oh god!
I thought
so
they
we do a
green-
double feature.
Yeah, baby. I reckon we're going to the cinema next year. That's how we're going to be making that special.
We do the whole hot chocolate scene, Carl. Again, these characters have been given nothing. We then finally get a train sequence. Dare I say this might be Bobby Z's second best train sequence? Would you agree?
Because of the train in Back to the Future 3?
Yes. Well, how would you rank them? Rank his train things. I haven't seen Contact. Maybe he's got a train sequence of that.
It's all about a train.
Okay, gotcha.
That's what they've made Contact with.
A train.
Trains.
It's a train crashing.
It's just a train.
God, it's by far his best. Carl, rank them, huh?
I guess you're right. You've got the reveal that the train can fly, and then the scene where the train is going down steep.
I love when in Back to the Future where they throw those like rugs into the fire and it makes it hotter. As a child, I believe that full hog. I don't know what those rugs were. Do you not remember those coloured rugs in Back to the Future?
What are you on about?
I'm talking about Back to the Future 3.
Oh, the one people have watched the least.
By far, and get this, the best one.
No.
That's right. And people have been saying
Rank
that.
them.
I'd probably go 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Guess what? Zemeckis trains, they don't work out.
God, the writing was on the wall. Everyone knows that.
They don't.
By God. But
We
it's
really
like,
should just watch Welcome to Marwen. We really should just watch it.
it's such a Bobby Z month, and quite frankly, I'm sick of Tom Hanks. I'm sick of this fucking man. I hate seeing him in CGI. I reckon, how do you rank the Tom Hanks CGI people? I'd probably put the homeless man at top. I'd probably put Santa second. I'd probably put his character in here at 16 last. And I'd probably put his character in here at 56.
I
third.
think his best is the dad that's like, hey, the bells broke. That's, to me, my favorite. And then my second favorite is him as Santa because his voice has not changed enough.
No.
Nowhere near enough. You go, that's Thomas Hanks.
Even I will actually say, I don't know where you'd rank him, but him being the little Scrooge puppet is high.
Oh, yeah, that's true as
That's
well.
true.
It is, and we did talk about this last time, but why is he every character? Why is he actually every character in the film?
I think he's a man who loves being a little bit silly. And dare I say, I think the worst thing Thomas Hanks got given was 2 Oscars back to back. Because he's like, I'm a prestigious actor. That man should be silly. He's
Yeah.
a silly little fool.
He's a silly man.
And he loves being a bit acting a fool. And quite frankly, he should be given a full reign because in this, he goes full hog in that.
He does. He absolutely does. Him keep on checking his time like, oh, wow, ooh.
I'm going to be late.
Now, they get to a point where all the tracks are iced over.
Yeah.
Okay? So, I wanted to ask, is every year this eventful? Do we think every year does all the same stuff?
Huge. Okay. Now, I would say if the children learned anything from the journey, then I'd say yes. However, I don't think the kids learn anything, and therefore I just think there's a hiccup. In which case, I think there's an L on this train conductor.
All the background kids, are they getting an arc that we're not privy to? Have they all learned the other individual lessons of like, you need to learn to iron your clothes?
Again, you said last year we can't do the ticket bit. I am now going to have to double down and say that Tom Hanks knows every ticketed choice and word is purposeful and not just made up on the spot. In which case, yes. Every child's getting a magnificent arc, and because the film has gone, listen, we just don't have the time. We're going to have to follow the bland ones because there's too much happening. It's wacky. There's moose from the track. I think that's what's going to happen here.
We've got moose on the track. We've got a giant moon at one stage as well.
Yes.
Wasn't the moon big?
It was very large.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't talk about that last year.
No, we didn't mention the moon once.
All right, let's milk the moon. I guess we could milk the moon for cheese.
Could you believe they put a man on the moon?
No.
Tell you what, talking about the moon, are we excited for the new Wallace and Gromit film?
I thought you were going to say Fly Me to the Moon.
Shall we talk about that?
I will talk about Wallace and Gromit. I am excited. However, the reviews have been similar to that Chicken Run one. Are just good. I want to be
You want to be wowed.
I want to be wowed.
I think we got a Curse of the Were Rabbit, you know?
But dare I say, I think when Curse of the Were Rabbit came out, it didn't have that big bang. And I think now, given time, it has. Because here's the thing. You watch those Christmas specials, which I have yet to do. I need to watch those. They are very small scale, but they're stunning. And then after like a week, you're like, that was fantastic.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited. Also, did you ever play the Curse of the Were Rabbit GameCube game?
No.
Oh, Carl, you gotta check it out. And the Kinect controls work with it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I can be doing this with my arms and I'll be Gromit?
You'll be controlling Gromit and you'll be sucking up carrots for days.
Yum. Yum. Is the film a musical and they decided it not to be a musical?
I think they got the person who wrote Once and Sing Street. If you haven't seen those movies, very good films. The person that wrote those has written the music for this. I think had a couple of songs. And the filmmakers went, we've got a lot on our plate. We'll squeeze it in. We got a beat. And they had 3 beats to fill. And because I just don't think the songs really.
Does the Hot Chocolate song count as a song?
I think the Hot Chocolate song is the only song that actually works. The songs that don't work the most are the boring one the chick sings, and then when that is then immediately contrasted with the elves going, "Welcome to the Santa Land, banana Santa Land," and it's an odd vibe. And I think that's the only music, right, for the rest of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I guess they were just like, we need to transition from here to here. Do you have a song for us?
Seems like a waste of my time.
It seems like a waste. It definitely could have been. You could cut that out and then be done. Surely people that like this film don't like this. What is this?
Yeah, who's going, I love the song she
Are
sings.
people really liking this film? Like, really? Like, who is going out every year and watching this? Like, is this someone's Home Alone?
Yeah.
That's not on.
I know somebody that this is their
Name
yearly
and
thing.
shame them. What
no,
the
I
hell?
won't.
Okay.
I actually won't.
Fine, bleep
but
them out.
They deserve to be punished.
Yeah.
And at Christmas, I tell them they're sick.
Okay, good.
So
as long as they know that they're filthy and disgusting, then we're good.
Yeah, they're fine. They're well aware.
Fantastic.
They know that they have done wrong.
Yeah.
By supporting
here's
the
the
film.
thing. I'm in the same boat because, again, I think very positive this film. 5 stars. I've got more positive notes. Let's go into it.
Well, I would like to talk about. I have made a big observation this year with the film.
Okay. Huge.
And I'm shocked I have never noticed it before.
Yep.
Most of the film is about pulling the brakes.
Oh, okay.
Billy tries to hop onto the train. He has to pull the brakes.
Yes. Tom Hanks is not happy with that.
No, he's not. They find out that there's moose on the tracks. They have to pull the brakes. They get to the North Pole and their carriage rolls away. They have to pull the brakes. Every challenge that they come upon is just pulling the brakes.
Carl, I'm going to spin this into why this film is fantastic. If you go into the metaphor that Santa's land is a horrible little cult, and the only way that they can stop it is by this bland boy trying to restrict themselves and pulling the brakes, then this works. You got a 3-person, but here's the problem though, Carl. The train can't stop. They're going to make their way to this horrible cult. And when they get to that cult, they need to pretty much then start believing in a new god. Whew.
Oof.
Chills.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will add to that. Yeah, because here's the thing. What do you have? Because you kind of look at this film, because none of the moose and stuff are in the film, in the book. It's hard to make it tense.
There's no moose in the book?
Nope.
They're the best part of the film.
rank your favorite animals, because I would go moose than the elves. And
yeah,
yes, and
the elves are sickly.
Oh, they're disgusting.
Yeah, they are.
Again, I think we talked about it last year.
Oh, you can't. That's not your out. That's not the out you think it is.
I won't
The
say
listeners are sick of this. They're sick of your bullying and your impressions.
Fine. I'll stand by it then. I think all the elves are beautiful and cute.
Okay, well, you don't have to lie to the listener.
I won't lie.
Well, you're lying to me.
I think they're cute with their weird stubble.
I thought they were particularly gross this year. I was particularly grossed out by the elves this year.
They're vile.
They're so vile.
They're disgusting.
Some of them have a mustache, and you go, why?
I don't think they should be touching the toys. I don't think so.
No.
That's not on.
They give the idea that they're leaving like pebble poo everywhere. like a rabbit, you know? Like
They definitely. I reckon they shit in a box. I reckon
they absolutely shit in a box. They're absolutely, and you know what? There's definitely bad. Here's the thing: if the elves are tracking us saying they're naughty, they're nice, who's tracking the elves to see if they're naughty and nice?
They are. Okay, here's the thing. I reckon we don't see it. They're kept on a leash. And you know what? I support it. I don't want to get political, but I think these elves should be captured.
Well, at one stage, Santa pulls out his big magical rainbow whip, and all the elves, they get pretty fucking scared.
And you know what? I back that. I think that Santa should keep these elves on a tight leash. And I'm glad they're getting tortured behind the scenes.
You know what would be a really good twist as just like a little bit of adversity for them to overcome?
Yep.
Is the conductor being like, and now you live here at the pole.
Yeah.
And they're like, what?
You read my notes. Okay, so this is what I think is actually happening. I think these children are then being turned into elves, and the only way they actually overcome the whole Santa thing is by acknowledging that it's futile, and they should just accept that they're going to be captured, and because of that, they live in the beautiful essence that it's all futile. And that's how they escape, with the bell. Other than that, these elves are just tortured, and rightfully so.
I also think, just because last year we didn't really touch upon the final third of the movie.
Okay.
So that's where I'm sort of want to focus a little bit of energy. And
fantastic.
it feels like it's very purposeful that Billy's gift is the one that he is there for. Like, that's the last gift of Christmas, is Billy's. It feels like he is meant to be given a test, but he is not. Do you get what I mean in terms of, it feels like at one stage he's asked to let go of the gift and hold my hand. And he still holds onto the gift. And he's getting the gift anyway at the end.
Yeah.
And I don't know how being obsessed about his gift does anything.
Here's the thing, Carl, and this is what the cruelness of Santa is. However, I actually back it completely %. They've given Billy a test. They go, hey, do you value a friendship or material goods? And he's proven he cares about material goods.
He does. He's got a fucking Xbox in there.
Of course, it's a Kinect.
I'd fall to my death for an Xbox.
He's got Lego Star Wars. He's got Animal Kingdom on the Xbox Kinect. It's actually
He's
fantastic.
got Max Payne 3.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's an M-rated game, but you know what? Fuck it. His parents... Here's the thing. His parents are going to be like,
They're not-
they're not supervised.
They're not there.
They're not supervised.
They're not supervising.
I was going to say that pretty much... he's been given a task of, hey, do you want everlasting friendship or do you want material goods? Because he's got, he has to live, then go home, set up the Kinect. And here's the thing, we talk very highly about the Kinect. The second you set up a Kinect, you realize what's just horrid, what you're in for. And it's a horrible life of just nothing working. And that's his punishment. He goes home and has to live with the consequences. And that's his test. He's failed it, and here's the consequences. A Kinect.
A Kinect.
A Kinect.
Stuck with a Kinect.
Yeah.
And look, here's the thing. As somebody that got a Kinect, it never worked. It never worked. It was worse than the iToy.
It really was. iToy
what a
was
failure.
2004. And listen, the fact I had a camera on my PlayStation was bonkers. I didn't mind if it didn't work. It was a camera. I can't believe that works. The Kinect, it was like iPhone 6. And at that point, you're like, you should just work. Did you ever use the mic feature on a Kinect? Vile. I can't think of the worst mic quality you ever can, and then times by 90. That's the Kinect.
What do you mean? The first 9 episodes of this podcast we recorded into a Kinect. What are you on about?
Yeah, if you guys want to hear the quality of a Kinect, go to our first ever episode. Carl and I are both on Kinect Xbox Live party chat. We're discussing...
Hey, did you catch Artemis Fowl?
Well, here's the thing. Microsoft was just like, hey, by the way, we record this without your knowledge. We just do that now. Do you guys want this audio? We don't want it.
You were clearly playing Call of Duty. We caught this entire conversation. We think that people would maybe enjoy this if it got better over the course of 5 years.
No, they didn't say that. They said, we actually can't delete this. It's too garbage and it has a waste of space. Here's the thing. Our Microsoft servers are just full enough that you have to take this on. This is on your hands.
They said holding onto this recording is a crime against humanity, and we have to give it back to the two of you to be responsible for.
You can't just dump it. It is nuclear waste, apparently.
Okay, let's dive into what we've been waiting to talk about the entire episode.
Thank Christ.
This isn't enough gifts. This isn't enough for the
big
world.
Sack?
Yeah,
The
that's
big
not
sack?
enough.
I think
That's like conservatively 100. Sorry, it's more like 2,000 gifts.
Yeah. Which maybe for a child is a large number, but we're grown adults. We know big numbers.
Well, Santa dropped off
50 million.
Well, Santa drop off a gift to a kid regardless of their religion.
No.
So he's going, you have to believe in me to get it?
So, Carl, how many presents are there? How many kids are there in the world?
Okay, so at the moment, I've just looked it up. There are 2 billion children.
Okay.
So and some of them are getting
0.001%.
Yeah. So not that many. And look,
Can I say most...
Guys, that number's going to peak in 2050. It's at 2.06.
Wait, what? How do you do the math on that? How do you know?
We just know it's then going to decrease to 1.9 in 2100.
How do you
Be
know
worried,
that?
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What statistics are you on? Who told you?
Sorry, I called Santa.
He knows the statistics.
He knows the statistics and he's really scared.
I gotta tell you, and here's the thing: if Santa really is real, I think we dived into the red one. This technology.
That's 0 to 14.
He would
By the way, is 2 billion.
0 to 14.
And let's face it, kids are getting gifts. I mean, I still get my Santa sack every year. So it's got to be 18 and under, in my opinion. Yeah. So maybe we're looking at 3 billion.
I think so.
This isn't enough gifts.
No, it's not good enough.
I have never personally felt like I have seen a movie that accurately was able to depict how Santa works.
Yeah.
I think Arthur Christmas got really close. That's it. Elf, what a mess.
What's
that
else?
North Pole doesn't make sense to me. Love the film, but that North Pole doesn't work.
The claymation snowman does a lot of the heavy lifting. However, I do want to say, I want bureaucracy, which is a shame because I think a lot of films go, let's make Santa bureaucratic, because you kind of have to be. However, I don't, you know what? I know it's not a Christmas movie. However, I think Storks might be the closest it's come to living up to that mythology.
That one is a good operation of how 2 billion children are made each year.
Yeah. I think that one's working a lot. Guys, check out Storks. Genuinely underrated classic. Watch it once. Have no expectation going in.
Yeah, didn't like it the second time?
Oh, well, here's the thing. I walked and went, that's hilarious. Good for them. The second I went, it's okay.
Yeah, it's
good. It's just a good
It has
film.
its moments.
It does have its moments. It's fun.
It's fun.
Check out Storks. Check out Storks.
But yeah, I don't think this is enough gifts. I don't think this... what do we think is the best North Pole depicted?
Crazy. Aesthetic wise, or just
operations?
That's huge.
Because I'll tell you right now,
who have you got on your
didn't think Fred Claus made a lick of sense when we watched that last week.
I liked almost that Fred Claus had. The closest it had was more that it was like a workers' town. Have you heard about workers' town? Like it'd be like a coal mining operation.
Oh yeah, and they build
a town, and it always falls into drugs and alcohol because, of course. But that was an apt description of that because all the elves were a bit sad and they also lived in there. I can't tell you of a one that really works. Maybe
even when we watched Red 1. When they were like, this is how athletic and fast he is, that still wasn't quick enough.
I don't think it was. No, of course not. However, the sadness in the elves' eyes, I did think was true.
Oh, that was really accurate.
Because here's the thing, they've got to be slaves. Like, there's no way it has to not work.
Well, because I think in Arthur Christmas, the elves do a lot of the placing. So it's like the big ship comes and then the elves do it. So it makes sense elves are also delivering the gifts.
Totally. And Santa's more of like, hey, we're doing this because that's how we used to do it back in the day. And I think it's more of a legacy thing. Like Santa delivered a present. All right, let's go back and die. And let's do the pro stuff. That is a good present. Also, Klaus is good. I can't remember what the actual...
Well, that's just for that little town.
Yes.
And then the spirit of Christmas takes over post-film.
Oh,
Klaus is a good...
Klaus is lovely.
Klaus is a one for the
I
books.
need to watch Klaus this year. Klaus is lovely.
Klaus is lovely.
I would like... I mean, here's the problem. Because for it to work, it'd be like an Amazon warehouse.
Well, here's the thing.
And here's the thing. If you're pulling it...
Here, I'm going to pick up the mic. This is how I'm going to pick up the mic and lean back.
Hit me.
Was the audio going to be good on this? Is this fine
Let's
if I do
find
this?
out. We'll find out.
What the fuck is Santa? Like, just in terms of... So we all together made up the concept of Santa, and he is delivering gifts.
Yep.
He uses flying reindeer. We use these Christmas trees. Elves are there. You have to put out milk and cookies. How did this begin? Why is it taken over? The operation never made sense. Why have all of our parents gone, yes, we're happy to lie about this?
I gotta tell you, Carl, kids are very stupid.
But I don't get... how it's this
Here's
far.
The thing.
How has it gotten this far?
Here's the thing. We're insane. Because the two things. One, a child, I don't mind being lied to. I'm getting presents. Why would I try and dig up this lie? You know the people that dig up the lie? Fucking losers in this one. Yeah. But don't you?
What do we? Did you ever, as you were getting older, go? There's inconsistencies.
Oh,
here.
I gotta tell you, when I found out that Santa wasn't real, I did feel a bit like I am chuffed. I am glad that magic is done. And here's the thing, I've got a beauty thing. I'm not a Grinch. I love being like, I don't like Christmas, and then when Christmas rolls around, going, well, my heart's grown 3 hearts its size. However, I did enjoy the fact that bureaucracy-wise, it doesn't make a lick of sense. And that's why it hasn't been depicted on film. Because if you had to depict it on film, it's just going to be an Amazon warehouse. And you've seen the conditions of that.
It's bad.
No one wants to go down that rabbit
Imagine
hole.
seeing a Nomadland-esque film for a Christmas operation.
I would love to see elves pissing in bottles and just working 19 hours for like $6 an hour. That's a film. That's a good one.
It is.
Yeah.
It really, really is.
I gotta tell you though, I think this film does a good operation because those elves are absolutely haggard and they just want to just absolutely get fucked up.
They just want to party.
Yeah.
You know what's weird after Santa leaves and the music's all playing?
Yeah.
Why have they got life-size instruments that they can't hold?
I didn't notice that. Really, is it not small for them?
No, they're all people-sized, and so there's like few elves per instrument. Why haven't they manufactured their own instruments?
Listen, I know they can. Oh, yes.
Sorry, I've perked up with even more intensity and encouragement or words.
Yeah.
But
That's
did
how
you
it
notice a kid that goes, elves? Where did he come from? He wasn't in it last year.
No, he wasn't.
No, he wasn't. He's an
Each
addition.
year, Bobby Zemeckis re-edits this whole film, like George Lucas. No one's asked him to do this, but each edition adds a lot more to the character. It wasn't right. It wasn't right.
It wasn't. Oscar, do you have any extra things that you would like to talk about?
Other than this is a fantastic film, I think all their bland, annoying characteristics kind of tie up in a beautiful bow because I think what we're actually really witnessing here, Carl, is a horrid society that has been futile. However, because they have lured into their temptation, and I really think that long extended bell scene, which we're not allowed to talk about, is really a metaphor for our main protagonist, who's very bland, learning that, hey, this world of consumerism is not for me, and yet I'm trapped in it. However, he learns that, hey, this is my world, and I can't escape it. And through that, he is finally free. And that is the freedom that he believes. Wow, chilling. Everyone else, though, is doomed for eternity. So that's kind of the film. And
Wow, you've simply just said nonsense. To think you've wrapped anything up or done anything with finality.
Here's the thing, and I really think about this. Some of the best films, Carl, are thinkers. And you need to think about it for a while. And that's why I think this film is fan-bloody-tastic.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair. Shall we say a compliment sandwich for the film?
Oh, I already had compliments, but yeah, you hit me, okay? So what is that? Is that an insult, compliment, insult? Or is it
compliment, insult, compliment.
Okay. I think this great film is a torturous pest on me.
That's not how
every
this
year,
works.
But good for us to chatting about it each year. Huh? Compliment, insult, compliment.
I'll
You hit
say
me
I
with
like
another one.
I like the music.
Yep.
I
think that's just nepotism. You're just chatting because your friend made the music.
Alan's talented. Alan knows. Alan's talented.
Well, I
I
know
got
Bobby.
my face if Alan didn't do this film. I'm pretty sure he did because Bobby Z directed it. I don't know why Bobby Z would get rid of Alan. Music's great. Story's awful.
Yeah.
And the train looks nice.
Look at that. That's a compliment, insult, compliment.
Yep.
Oh, fantastic.
That's how we do it. Oscar, because we've done this, who would watch this so many times
course,
for this
of
movie, it's
course.
our third time.
Yeah.
There's no interesting way for us to spin it, in my
No.
opinion. So I think we should both simply recommend a Christmas movie for people to watch this year.
Oh, great up. Okay, what's the parameters of Christmas? Can I straight up just take it Thanksgiving? Because I'm going to.
Oh, I know exactly what
Those
you're
planes,
thinking.
trains,
God,
noise.
yeah,
It's
okay.
so
Yeah,
cozy.
Oh my God, it's
What-
not. You don't get to be like, it's like, I'm gonna let you do it this year because I sprung it on you.
Fine, wait, no.
that's it.
Oh,
No,
no. Do you want?
it's
I
fine,
can give you one of
no.
those bullshit ones. It's technically it's Christmas time. I watched Lethal Weapon. Okay, have you seen Lethal Weapon, the original?
No.
It is odd. Mel Gibson is giving a performance I didn't know that's how this film starts. He's fucking insane. He starts off immediately just like, I'm a suicidal cop, and he will go Like, he goes to 100 immediately. He walks into a drug deal. He's like, I want all the cocaine. I'll give you a nickel. And they're like, fuck you. He then pulls out a gun and just straight up just caps them in the face. And the chiefs of police like, hey, that's not our Mel. He's like, you're gonna be booked with the fucking square over there. Mel Gibson then goes on an absolute rampage to the backdrop of Christmas, and it's an absolute vibe. There's one scene where, and this is just absolutely ridiculous, but it does work. There's a guy about to jump. He's about to, like, kill himself. Oh, my God. And he goes, hey, Mel Gibson, don't come close to me, okay? If you do, I'll jump. Mel Gibson goes, that's absolutely fine. I'm here to help you, man. Let's support you. He then handcuffs himself to the jumper and goes, we're gonna fucking jump. He then jumps off the roof and they land in a body bag. The guy's like, what the hell was that? And Mel Gibson shoots off the handcuffs like, let's party. And that's the backdrop of Christmas. Carl, Lethal Weapon's great. Check it out. What would you recommend?
I'm gonna say one again. Backdrop, not exactly a Christmas movie, but
All the best are.
I'm gonna say Shazam. The second one's bad, but the first one's so much fun during Christmas.
I've not seen the second one, but the first one is fun. I felt
Yeah.
the horror. I remember that boardroom scene's fun. I think it's also quite contained, so you don't have to watch the second one.
Yeah, you don't. It's
No.
just I think it stands alone as its own thing.
Yeah.
Like, just not even being a part of any
That-
universe.
I
It's
feel
just
we've talked about that director. He's fun. He's
yeah,
always giving
he's
it a go.
doing Until Dawn,
Yes.
which is coming out next year, which I'm very excited about.
He's a good horror director.
Yeah, he's a good horror director. So
I think his YouTube is Pony Smasher or something.
yeah.
Fun.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
Very fun.
I did not realize. Oh, I guess it is at Christmas, isn't it?
Yeah, the whole
God.
movie, and I think it has Christmas values.
Yeah.
Like, it's about family, it's about finding your family, all those things. Big,
You know, I've been going down a bunch of lists. I'm being surprised at how much Christmas is in Stanley Kubrick films.
yeah.
Other than I Wise Struck, I think like Full Metal Jacket. I feel like Barry Lyndon also has a say. Just it's funny. He's because I feel like this film's all like human. Like it's funny that holiday sums up. I just like it's interesting. It's fun. It's fun. Couple of drink. What are we doing next week?
We are taking it off.
Yeah, we're taking it off.
Yeah.
We always take off this week in Christmas. We get a little break, and then we jump into the Who Would Watch This Awards.
Love.
Very exciting.
So we're taking a week off, and then we shall see you with the Who Would Watch This Awards.
Thank you very much for listening, and thank you very much for this year.
Yeah, that's right. What a beautiful year. Our listener rate went up again, and we're just barely trying.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
thanks for sticking by. I don't
Yeah.
know why you're still here. I don't know why I am either. But we did it. Another one down. Yeah?
Yes, that's
Yes.
correct. We did another one.
Merry
Christmas.
Christmas.